Hello there. I'm going to share with you a presentation which was given to a number of business owners in Lithgow, supported by the Lithgow Council and Business Australia for Small Business Month. And the theme was Rebuild, Recharge and Renew. This is going to be a focus on business growth strategies that you might like to consider for your business. I'm Sarah Hunter. I am a strengthening business facilitator covering the areas of Lithgow, Oberon, the Blue Mountains and the Hawkesbury LGAs. I was previously a commercial director with a global pharmaceutical firm, and I've been a private consultant as well. Now, to start with, in any organisation, whether it's a startup or an organisation which is going through a growth phase, it's important to make sure that the basics are already set. So that means having a clear understanding of purpose. What am I trying to achieve? What are my financial and non-financial objectives in this organisation? It helps in order to sort of crystallise why you're here. It helps when you're employing people or working with people or collaborating with partners to know really what you're there to achieve and what gets you up in the morning about the business. You also need to have a clear understanding of where you play and what products you have, what segments you serve, what your target market is, who your customers look like. You need to know what your value proposition is. Why would customers or clients choose you over another organisation providing similar services or products? It's something that you need to have clear also, because that is a sustainable way that you maintain your organisation in the face of changes around you. And you also need to have an understanding of what structure is required now and in the future, how you run your business, basically, what it looks like, how you market the business. Are you digital only? Are you digital and in person? Do you have a business model that is different to other people, or do you know what that really looks like? And then the next stage is to activate your growth. And unless you have unlimited resources, and I haven't come across an organisation yet who does have unlimited resources, you need to make decisions, and those decisions are not always between a really bad idea and a really good idea. Those decisions are possibly between two quite good ideas. And so this will help you to just work out what might be those two good ideas that you need to then choose between. So I've taken this from a Harvard Business Review article and series of resources, which you can look up. This is the reference and credit that is will apply to everything that follows here. Now, in terms of thinking about growth, you need to first consider what your attitude is towards innovation. And this makes the first axis of the sort of evaluation, I suppose, of where you sit and what's your comfort level and attitude. Are you one who needs to control the ideas and control the business itself? Do you want to exclude your competition right from the start? And do you want to protect your intellectual property as a matter of importance? If so, you need to make sure that the resources are directed in this area, because this is a higher cost strategy or strategy component. On the other hand, if you would rather be quick to market and really beat the competition by just being faster than them at iterating and improving, then you don't need to invest those resources in the intellectual property protection. However, you do need to be fast because you have competitive threats and you're going to be able to win through being fast at changing, and that is therefore going to need the resourcing that is necessary. Now, on the other axis, you need to think about your attitude towards incumbents. Who's in the market already? Are you thinking that you might like to collaborate with those? Is that your way of working? Or take the other route. So if you're going to collaborate, it means there are established partners already in the market and you will be working with them. This can give you an incredible boost in terms of access to resources. If you can imagine, if you're working with a large organisation, much larger than yours, then you can leverage their expertise, their resources, their different departments, their research and so forth. And that can be a helpful element to your organisation and its performance as well. The downside is that you will be a small player and they will be a big player. So there is a power imbalance, and that may be an issue down the track. It certainly means that you've got to be aware of really the scope of your organisation's power in the context of this relationship. If, on the other hand, you are determined to compete with the existing players, then you have full freedom. You can do everything you like. However, this means that the imbalance is in resourcing rather than power, and they will have more resources than you have. So you need, again, to be smart and to use your resources wisely. So that gives you the 4 elements. And just to revisit the first piece, so if you're collaborating but maintaining control, you need to invest heavily in legals, in contracts. It is an example of, say, a research and development organisation which develops products or services, but mostly products, to a stage where they can be commercialised. And that is the thing. The thing is ideas into sort of protectable IP, and then the commercialisation stage would be to let others use that IP under contractual arrangements. So, for example, Harry Potter is an example of IP which is licensed, which is allowed to be used for a fee by other organisations, but the value and the control lies in the ownership of that brand. Another one is Dolby, where the particular sound capability is licensed into other uses, and in neither case of Harry Potter or Dolby do they engage the business in actually executing the use. They just allow their product to be used in a different way. Directly opposite that, if you are highly competitive and highly executing, this means you compete directly with those already in the market, and your advantage that you must leverage is the advantage of speed and surprise. It's often used where you go into a niche market to start to sort of get some establishment there, and then it can expand to other markets. Netflix is an example of this. They went into a niche market, they started to grow, and then they, as the organization grew, it then developed into an organization which commissioned material as well, and the organization that you see today. Rent the Runway is another one where people decided that there would be a market, a niche market, in people who would like to rent high fashion instead of purchasing it. And that was a new offer, and one which was enthusiastically taken up, but it needed to be fast and effective in its execution. Now, if we're looking at a collaborate and execute well strategy, this is one where you fit into an existing value chain. So you're able to bring a special piece of capability to make a value chain even better in its execution or its frictionless impact. PayPal is an example here where the ability for e-commerce players and their customers can use this particular element to improve the experience and the process of selling and buying, and it is an important part of the value chain, but it isn't the value in itself. So you fit in, you have something that's particularly useful, and it is able to fit into a value chain for use by many organisations and stakeholders. And finally, with high control and high competitiveness, this is an entirely new value chain. It's a high risk strategy, but it means that you have full IP protection, you create a new platform, and then you control everything within that platform. And two examples of this are Facebook and Airbnb, where those things are totally disruptive and totally changing the accepted norms, I suppose, and the control sits entirely with the Facebook, Meta, and Airbnb organisations. So those are the four types of growth strategies that can be classified. The IP one is called intellectual property. The platform one is known as architectural. The sort of niche market creates something different is disruption, and the fitting in as part of the jigsaw is the value chain. And these are all things which you can think about in the context of your own business and where you actually fit in a comfort level, which are the ones that really sort of resonate with the way you operate and the way you'd be comfortable sort of describing your organisation and how it executes its strategies. You may not be like right at the top or the ends of these axes. You may be somewhere in the middle, or you may have different strategies for different aspects of your business. But it is important to know which of those are going to potentially work for you. And remember, we're talking about choosing the best two and then comparing those two. So that's what we'll do next. You think about where your business fits in all of this. And these are worksheets which are also produced by the same authors, and credit is noted. There's a worksheet for each of these strategy elements, and this is one where you can look out for yourself in your own business and just make notes as to who are the existing customers, what is the technology, who are the competition, and what resources and capabilities do you bring to this particular element. That will help you then develop a value creation hypothesis and a value capture hypothesis, and set that one aside and work then on the next few. And you go through this same thing with an architectural strategy, with a value chain strategy, and with a disruption strategy. And sometimes you may need to just be quite intuitive in the notes that you drop in, and then maybe go back a little bit and look through it with a little bit more rigor and see if you've missed anything, pass it around within the organisation and see if there's something that, that you may have missed that others have picked up. And you will get to the point where you have two, and you've then got two fully sort of noted. They're not fully tested, but they're, they're two summaries which you can then start to compare and contrast. And it's with those that you'll be able to make your decision. So this has been a presentation on behalf of Strengthening Business, which is part of the Entrepreneurs Program. It's available to business owners in bushfire affected LGAs of New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia, and more recently to flood affected business owners in the LGAs of the Northern Rivers of New South Wales and Southeast Queensland. So if you'd like to know more about it, contact me. I will be able to give you more information about what you receive, which is a dedicated facilitator, access to our networks, and support in revitalising your business, reimagining your business in the light of the disruptions that have taken place over the last few years and probably will continue to take place. If you'd like to call me, here are my details. Thank you and have a lovely day.